Just ask questions. I don't feel like thinking. I'll just respond. I'll be a responder, no opening statement. Jason, I'm sure you got something. What you got?
Yeah, just, you know, this will be like, after you guys get through it, that'll be about halfway through conference.
Yep. One more game, yeah.
I think it's been kind of like, I mean, Seattle, people thought that they would be good because they had some, they've been.
Returners.
Yeah, they've been struggling, and then,
Yeah.
you know, the new teams, Chicago State and
Utah
Valley are at the top of the league with you guys. So.
Right. Well, it's just goes to show you we now know what we're talking about. You know, it's just I thought that Idaho and Seattle would be right at the top right now with the additions that they had, and I still think, you know, on any given night those guys can. I know Chicago State. I think that was an overtime game with them and Idaho. Idaho and Chicago State, and I know that. You know, Seattle handled, who was it? Team they beat really well, like 20. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's just, you know what I mean? The games have just been hard to call, you know? You just got all these new environments and new players that people aren't familiar with, and, you know, it's just one of those type of dynamics where with a new conference and new coaches and new programs that you just haven't seen, it's just hard to really project. You know, I think going forward, obviously next year and the year after, we'll have a better feel. But I'm not surprised, and I'm not surprised about Utah Valley. I was very familiar with their program and their coach, who's an excellent coach, and their style of play and so forth. So I knew they would be in the mix, but you know, they're off to a great start. So. You know, here we are on the grind again, you know, just trying to get the one in front of you, and then we'll see what happens.
If you guys, I mean, after this, are you happy with, I mean, where you're at, like in the hunt? After the first
yeah,
round?
I mean, you know.
That's where you thought you'd be. You're probably the only team that thought you'd be where you're at.
Well, yeah, we knew we'd be in the mix, you know. I felt good about our talent level, you know, obviously not having Remy and Sim available for the conference play, at least to this point. We'll get Sim here back here shortly, but you know, that not being full strength is disappointing. But that's basketball. You know, you got to have subs, you got to have backups, you got to have depth in your bench, and all those things play a role usually. You know, from year to year when you have that. So this is one of those times where, you know, thank God, you know, Ronaldo's playing well, and Chili's playing well, and we have some depth there at the 4 and 5 spot, which has been able to help us to hold on a little bit.
This thing come back to practice yet?
You know what? He started doing some, like yesterday. He was doing some jogging. Went and saw the doctor this morning. I haven't heard yet on the status of whether he'll be able to play at all this weekend. But I'll probably know by tomorrow whether he's available to actually get on the floor. It might, unfortunately, I think he's going to go all the way up to Thursday. You know, what's today? Tuesday. So you have to be Thursday probably before we know. But I think a lot right now is on how he feels. You know, bring him back slow and trying to bring him back with where it's not going to irritate it or you know, to the point where it's something that we've got to sit him again. So we're trying to do that, and I think we've done that, you know, pretty well as far as his treatment and stuff. So we'll see where it goes, but I am happy with the progress.
Is it the first time he's been able to run? Or?
Yeah, because he was really kind of just doing, you know, exercises and building it up and treatment and giving it rest and so forth. So he was able to jog this week, so that was good.
But he will be back at some point in the second half at least.
Oh, for sure, yeah. No, if he doesn't play this weekend, I would be shocked if he's not ready for next weekend. I mean, I'm sure he'll be ready by next weekend. He may be able to play a few minutes, you know. We'll see. We're just gonna
that's one thing. Whenever he does come back, I mean, Chile, and I imagine you don't want to play Chile and Ronaldo 40 minutes a night. Like, you can't do that, right?
Well, if we get those results that we have,
right,
I'll do it every night. I remember Oliver used to do that. Oliver, I said, how did that kid, you know, the kid at whatever, I forget his full name, but man, he would go 40 minutes and be such an integral part of every.
He was a little guy, though.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. These guys are, well, we've kind of adjusted a little bit to
Yeah.
make it happen, but I kept checking with them and they kept saying they were good, so.
Do they do anything different? Are they like?
They've been
running?
lifting after the games, immediately after, following the games and doing some more, they've increased their cardio, and, done some things with their diet and stuff just to try to maximize their, their overall, conditionings, but it's obviously been productive for us, so. I would have never imagined Ronaldo and Chile having to play 40 minutes
Yeah.
each, in the same game, so. That was the plan, though, we wanted to play them as long as we could, and they stayed out of foul trouble, they were smart, and did a good job on the floor on both ends, and the game was broken up with the timeouts and the flow of the game and the speed of the game kept it where, it was manageable, so it was good.
Bakersfield, I mean, you played them recently, so does that make it easier to get ready for them at all?
Yeah, I think so, a little bit. We're familiar with, style of play, familiar with some of the guys that are on the team, we've seen before. They do have a lot of new additions, and they have built a program since the coach has been there, so, it'll be interesting to see how they perform on the road here, but we're looking forward to, us kind of keeping the, I feel like we're starting to right the ship a little bit, and so I'm looking forward to doing that in an even more efficient fashion, going forward, so.
How's the kid doing?
I don't know, how you doing, man? He's better, he's still a little bumped and bruised, I think, but for the most part, he's healthy, he's just, trying to get himself back in a groove physically, I think, but he's been playing hard in practice the last couple of days, and he's looking good, so.
Coach, how would you characterize the strength of the WAC thus far from what you've seen?
Well, I am pleasantly surprised with the competitiveness at every arena, every facilities. Guys have been taking care of business at home. I think the amount of contribution from the programs, is evident by and maybe not necessarily in the attendance at the games, but you could just feel it through the administration and the fans that are in attendance. There's an excitement at UMKC, at Chicago State. We haven't played, obviously, well, at Grand Canyon as well. Those three locations that we've been. People are excited to be in the WAC, and teams and programs are excited to have the affiliation. So I think that's adding to the competitive, spirit of the conference, and I think, competition is good for business. So overall, I think it's been a pleasant surprise.
Can you talk about Utah Valley a little more?
Yeah, I haven't looked at them too much right now. We're concentrating on Bakersfield, so I haven't had a chance to watch too much film, but I do know, the coach, and I do know some of their personnel. We've had the chance to see them compete up close and personal before, so in recent years. So I feel like, they're a team that's very well coached, that have some guys that really understand their roles. They have a solid point guard in the coach's son, and Unsacred's son, and their bigs are skilled bigs, and, they can step out. A couple of them can step out and shoot it, which can always pose problems for other teams, and they really are comfortable with their system, and they got some experience. So, those things all add up to usually being a pretty good team. So, I think that their ability to win on the road is indicative of that right now, and now they've got to go on the road and do it again this week. What's up, Teddy? You good, man?
I'm good, Coach. I'm just working on my videography skills.
All right, man. Checking you out, man. Just like you were staring, so I didn't know what was going on over there. Hey, don't flip that around for a minute. What's looking at there?
Daniel earned his third WAC Player of the Week yesterday. Talk about the kind of player he's continuing to develop as throughout this season.
I think it was a pleasant surprise anytime somebody can get a personal best. I actually didn't know he even had that many points. It wasn't until the game was over. Somebody said he had a personal best, and I don't remember it happening. Because your expectations, for one of your guys that you expect to score, that's what he did. But he got to the free throw line and made free throws, and it was kind of spaced out throughout the game. It wasn't like he went on tear and hit 4 threes or something where you might look up and say, hey, how much does he have? So, but I think the overall, development has been good offensively outside of the turnovers. He's got to do a better job taking care of the ball and put a higher priority on his fundamentals and be more solid with his passing and decision-making. But you expect some of those turnovers when you play at the pace that he plays at. And so he's still learning how to switch gears from offense to defense and play with a different, cerebral kind of approach offensively compared to, the hully-gully defense style that he has right now, which is very good for us. So, but he's continuing to grow and develop, and he's just a great kid, and just pleased to see it for him as well.
Would you say that he's one of the toughest, if not the toughest players that you've coached?
Mentally, physically for sure. Yeah, physically for sure. He's a kid that can play with injury, can play through injuries. He's a kid that I think, his ability to bounce back and just how he's built. For him to be able to play with jaw wired shut and do all those things he did last year, I'd have been laid up for a week. You wouldn't get me to try to play a game like that. But that's that's kind of a testament to his toughness. So yeah, there's no doubt he's up in that upper echelon, with physical toughness for sure. And as he grows and continues to learn the game and embrace coaching and embrace, getting better, which he does a pretty good job of, but, all these kids can get better in that area. Once they really get that piece, that's when the physical can match the mental, then he's going to be a monster. He's just going to be, he'll make a lot of money playing this game one day.
Jack's going into the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Yeah.
I know you spent a lot of time with him. What does that mean to you?
Well, I'm really excited for him, and his family, and we're a part of his family. He's such a great guy and such a humble soul. Those are the people you want to be rewarded and receive accommodations that people that are truly deserving. And not only is he deserving, but I just think his character and personality are the type of person that you want around your program. And, not everybody's fortunate to have the type of people on your travel party that you just enjoy being around and being with. And, in our 7-year journey together, thus far, a 6.5-year journey, it's, he's one of us, so it's, we feel, like we all got a little something when he got it too. So it's a good feeling.
Anything else?
Anybody?
What are you looking for when you're recruiting this year?
Right now we've got some guys on campus that we really like. Jalen, Penny, and Pascal Siakam. Yeah, I think I get it better. I'm still working on Chalizi, so let me see. And then we have Jonathan Wilkins, and who else we have out there? DK, I'm missing. Huh?
Matt Taylor.
Oh, and Matt Taylor too. We've got 4 guys on campus that are redshirting this year that are going to fill some of the spots. I don't know that we'll have any actually scholarships to give out. We may have one. Just depends on how things shake out and what happens at the end of the year. But a lot depends on other guys making sure they're coming out. Terrell's status is still up in the air. Remy's up in the air. He might want to go and play professionally. Who knows what these kids want to do? And when after the season's over, I'll talk to all these guys and we'll sort through scholarship situations. But right now we have plenty on campus to fill the roster out next year. So it's really more about looking at young kids right now. It's predominantly what we're doing.
Anything else? Thank you, Coach.
All righty.
Thank you, Coach.